Well, now I'm going to ask you some of the questions that my followers left on my channel.
Sure.
There's a few, but they are pretty fun. They're pretty
Well, I mean, the visual effects aren't finished till the very end. So
right.
the movie exists, and we screen it all the time with temporary stuff. I mean, we have a cut of the movie that like a week after it's been done shooting, and almost none of the visual effects are in, and that's what we look at for many months. I never thought, I never imagined that would happen. And I like, I really like all three of the actors that have played Spider-Man. I think they're all excellent actors. Like it's one thing that Marvel has done really well with pretty much all the stuff that they've made is the casting is excellent. And I think that's the key. So but I never thought they would be together. Oh my gosh, that's a really hard question. It's hard to answer that because it's like they're all really important to me, and the experiences were all really fantastic. So it's hard to pick one. I really had a great time working with John on this movie. It was a lot of fun, and I loved working with the Russo brothers on the movies that we made together. Those guys are fantastic directors, and I really love working with them. So I had a good time on. And I loved working with Joe Johnston and Joss. I had a great time with all the directors on the films that I did at Marvel. I really did. There was some were harder than others just because they were hard movies. But they were all really fun. I can't pick one. Well, Venom does kind of. But it's kind of complicated. He's in there at the end. And my favorite thing with Rhino is, well, I won't spoil it, but is the way he comes up in that when they're talking about the villains.
Yeah.
He said, but that's really funny. Look, they at one point, I'm sure this was before I was on the movie. I guarantee you there was that the writers and John worked on every conceivable combination of characters, and I'm sure that a lot of people showed up. And I think it could have been anybody at the end in terms of how it shook out. I'm sure there's somewhere on the internet where somebody's looking for a Rhino Sandman team up, so that it could be like Sideways 2. With Paul Giamatti and Thomas Hayden Church, but that didn't happen in this one. No. But I think so. The answer is I have no idea. I guarantee you that there was an idea at some point pitched that they be in the mix. But what was settled on, and the villains that are in the current version, I think are the right combination of people, just because they are the ones that had the interaction with the characters, so that we could play that story out. And I think John made a good call on who to include. Well, there's no way I can't not say Tom Holland, because I worked on his first, I cut his screen test when he tested.
For Civil War.
Yeah, I cut.
Do I need to do that? I know we're on different teams. I just don't want to be disrespectful to you.
Surrender.
Wait. Whoa, that thing does not obey the laws of physics.
Because we shot them for that movie. And I cut his first scenes as Spidey. I was there the first day. So he's somebody that I really am. It's been an honor to be able to cut his stuff. He's such a good actor, and I really respect him. This is kind of like Chris Evans, where I feel like I cut every Chris Evans performance in the MCU. And with Tom, I didn't do his first 2 solo pictures, but I do feel like really connected to him in a way as someone who helped him get his performance out to the audience. So I'm definitely going to he's going to be my Spider-Man. I had lots. I had lots. We all did. It was a group effort. We all pitched ideas. We all gave ideas. We all said, that's a good idea. That's a bad idea. And we did that for a year or more. So yeah, I had a ton. I couldn't begin to tell you which were which anymore. We all kind of get together and do it. And that's how these things get made. It's really it's amazingly a group effort led by a good director, because then the director goes yes, no, and picks those ideas, and he's confident enough to take the good ideas and confident enough to say yes to stuff, even if it isn't his idea. He'll take it in and we'll use it. So I don't remember a specific thing that I came up with for the movie. There's just we all work together. Yeah, we on all the films I've been on set a lot, and on this one we were lucky because they came up with a COVID protocol where we could test a lot, so we were safe to be there, and we wore masks, of course. The actors couldn't unless they were wearing masks, which they could because they're Spider-Man. But we wore masks, we were careful, and we got to be there a lot. And we did some on-set editing. So John likes to have stuff cut while we're shooting, and we work like right near the camera. We have a cart. We grab the media, we cut it together, we sketch it out, make sure we got the right pieces that we need. So it was a lot of on-set time and a lot of fun doing that. This movie had very few, I would say, for most movies that I've worked on, but there are some, and there's some good stuff that we will be. I imagine it'll be on a forthcoming DVD release, and it's cool stuff. Mostly from the beginning of the film, mostly from that opening sequence with Peter dealing with the fact that he's been revealed as Spider-Man. So there was more stuff at the school with the teachers. There's a handful of things. There's a scene with. There's a robbery scene with Tom Holland's brother, Harry Holland, playing the rob, which is a really fun scene.
The paint.
Yeah. We cut that down. I mean, we just realized people, when we were screening the film, we felt like people understood where we were narratively and we needed to get moving. So that was where we took out a lot of time. There's a handful of things from later in the film, but there's very little. I mean, we ended up using most of what we shot.
It's a very long movie.
It is. We wanted it to not be long, but we wanted it to make sure we took care of all the characters. We didn't want to short anybody as best we could. So the full story of the characters needed to be told. And there's quite a few important characters in the film in terms of backstory and understanding how they got there when you deal with the villains, because we didn't want to short those guys. They're all interesting characters and they have a lot to bring to the table. And also they all kind of fit into the greater narrative, which is about Peter discovering his need to be responsible.
Well, the last one, there are many questions in my channel about how possible it is to see Toby and Andrew come back in a future movie. Of course, you don't have that information, but I would like to know your opinion. Do you think Toby and Andrew could come back in a future movie? And you think they could come back, for their sequels? For Spider-Man 4 and Amazing 3?
Well, I would love to see them back. I like both of them as actors. I like both of them as in this part. So I would love it. It would be super fun. I just don't know how to do that. Like, I would not, that's a whole another trick to figure out how to build that in. So I'm really, I got to say, I know nothing about what's going to happen next. My kids keep asking me and I'm like, I don't know. I wish I knew. I wish I could say, hey, let me tell you a little secret, but I don't know the answers to any of it. And I can tell you the thing that I want more than anything is to see another Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, only because I just think he's awesome. And I love him in that part. But and there's no way to tell what's going to happen next. And it's part of the fun of this movie. And I love the way John ended the film, which is, what's up? What's going to happen? He's got a clean slate. He's in a new place. He has his life is beginning again under a new context. And he is now Spider-Man in the traditional sense. He's arrived. Now you can go anywhere with that story. And that's what I love about the ending of this movie is it's completely open. And it's completely open with multiple different characters. So you could go anyway. I can't wait to see what they do. I have no idea. I'd love to do another one if they asked me to do it, but I have no idea where it's headed. No idea, which is super exciting.